That's why the RCMP's come out with a secret report. Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
There's a concern that the next generation of people is getting angrier and angrier at their lack of home ownership, their difficulties of living and paying for things, and food inflation, all these things, and it's creating a potential risk to the Canadian society. Here's the thing. I'm starting to think that nobody's buying this anymore, right? They used to tell people, oh, you're going to get more money back and all this stuff, but now the other side's starting to say, no, like your food inflation, all that stuff is deeply tied into the cost of fuel and the labor shortage and all these other factors that, like, okay, you're going to give me this stupid carbon rebate, but it's my bills are out of control, right? So I think people are starting to wise up.
Yeah, I don't think people understand the actual, like food is a hot topic right now, right? The cost of food.
Big time. I've seen it all over the place.
Yeah, I don't think people actually understand what is going on here. And it's more so, you know, when Loblaws is recording record revenue, it's only a function of food's just gotten more expensive. The margins are the same. And the margins, have you ever seen the margins
such a
that
great
they
point.
make? It's like fucking 2%.
The
Like imagine
grocery
operating,
industry is one of
it's
the hardest
cutthroat.
in the world.
Imagine operating a business on a 2% profitability. You make one error, you are so fucked.
100%. Man.
Like so you have to be so careful. So it's not so claiming record profitability. It's only a function of the fact that
you can only look at margins
has
and
scaled
percentages.
so high.
And this is
the reason why the reason why the revenue scaled so high is because just like, you know, if I sell a 10 years ago, one of these bags of protein might have been $20. Now they're $50-$60.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to have record high revenue.
Yeah,
but
so
my margins are the same, arguably less.
If you made $5
expressed as a percentage,
if you made $5 on that, if it was selling for 20, if you made $5 and now it sells for 50 and you make $5
yeah,
or $10 or whatever, like percentage, whatever the
have to be
percentage
the
is.
same percent.
Yeah.
The same percentage would just move up, right?
Yeah.
So you're
And
going
this
to record record profitability and record sales, but the margin is still the same.
It might even be worse for all people know. It could.
We are worse.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to manage that. I'm trying to manage that a little bit for our customers.
Yeah. Your wages have gone up.
Yeah.
40, 50% probably in that time. Your shipping costs have gone up 40, 50%. Your turnover for employees has gone up, like all these expenses. So now here's another thing.
Like
when this is why I have a problem when people say there is record debt load across Canada. Of course there is.
Yeah.
Because everything's inflated.
Yeah.
The value of the dollar is decreased by 50%. So the numbers are higher, but the percentage is probably about the same in terms of people that are in trouble. But what is happening, and will continue to happen, is the people that have the money are getting, wealthier and wealthier and wealthier because they own assets and everything else. And the people that aren't in the market or don't own anything, their living standard is getting worse and worse and worse and harder and harder and harder. That's why the RCMP's come out with a secret report. Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
Saying like
what the fuck
there's a concern that the next generation of people is getting angrier and angrier at their lack of home ownership, their difficulties of living and paying for things and food inflation, all these things. And it's creating a potential risk to the Canadian society that people are going to start taking to the streets.
Unrest.
That there's an unrest. That's a good way of putting it. That's a secret RCMP report. Now,
What do you mean secret?
like it wasn't supposed to be public. It was maybe leaked
like
or
an
something.
Internal memo or something?
Something like that, yeah. Or maybe it's
Interesting.
distributed to other government parties and then somebody leaked it. Now, I'll tell you what, it's happening. I turn on Instagram, TikTok, all these things. You see these videos of people like crying because their rent has gone up so much and they're living in their parents' basements. Like, this is another reason why the government is willing to give developers money when they're normally not. Not in Canada. Canada doesn't do this.
Yeah.
They hate people getting rich. They hate developers making money. They hate incentivizing.
Yeah, this is a very
developers.
American thing that has been going on forever. Tax incentives,
But they
development
have
incentives.
to.
Yeah, there's no other option.
They have to.
We're just behind the curve.
flood the market with rentals at a pace that you can't even imagine.
Yeah,
That's what they're doing.
yeah, we're just way behind the curve.
Yeah, the curve was obvious 5 years ago. Go back and listen to our podcast.
Yeah, and
we saw it coming.
You know what'd be hilarious is, the right answer is a capitalistic market. That's actually the right answer.
And here's the thing, it ain't going to happen.
Exactly.
You know,
this is the result of not allowing it to happen.
Yes. So
the
what
government
happens
has to step in and do all this
and we always
bullshit.
talk about this in a non-capitalist market, just like in, let's say, Russia as an example. They're an oligarch, right? So all the lead, whatever the President Putin, whatever, all his cronies get all the contract jobs, right? They own all the mines, they own all the oil production, and then he gives his cronies who follow his lead the contracts. Oh yeah, you go run the mine and you make all the money, right? And that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's not too dissimilar here.
Yeah.
Because it's not a free market. What ends up happening is it's not necessarily cronies, but what it is the owners.
They're just in bed with each other. They're in bed with the government.
Or if you're not, yes, like the banks and stuff like that, but the people that aren't, the people that understand the system and understand how to manipulate it, because it's not free. Oh, shoot, I got to jump through 20 hoops, but once I do, I can go build all these rental properties and they're going to give me money. What ends up happening is it gets concentrated more and more than it would in a free market. So the rich get really rich and the poor get really poor, more so in a non-free market. But what we always say is the poor are the ones voting for the non-free market ideas.
Yeah.
As crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
So my point is,
hilarious.
in this socialist economy that we're in, that's on a scale. It's not pure socialism, obviously. On this scale, you can get really, really wealthy when you see opportunities like MLI Select that are rare, because it's like this little loophole where the government's giving you money. It's kind of like a cronyism.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often. When it's there, you got to go do it. The previous loophole was go build single family homes because they're bringing in 1 million people and rates are at 0%. That was a loophole.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now the game has shifted. Single family homes aren't the game right now to go build them.
Yeah.
Okay. Building duplexes, triplexes isn't the loophole. Fourplexes isn't the loophole, because you need 5+ units to get MLI Select. That's the loophole.
Yeah.
So you've got people calling me about duplexes. I'm like, good luck. None of them work.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're all built before 2018. You can't get your rents up. They're all tenanted.
Yeah.
The expenses are too high because they're old buildings. Here's the loophole
Yeah.
for now, and then it might close in 10 years, and then there'll be another one. But there's always ways to make money. And this is just real estate, right? Like you might find loopholes in business. One of your loopholes you told me is there's so many barriers to entry in this country that nobody wants to do it. So if you go do it and break down all the barriers, you end up with kind of maybe less competition. Not that it's easy, but
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Interesting.
yeah.